Hi guys, it's Stephanie. It is Sunday, July 17th. I slept incredible last night. I was up at 8:15 and I wanted to stay in bed a little bit longer, but because I have to go to work today at the yacht club, I had way too many things to do before that time came. So I had to go do a little bit of grocery shopping. I wanted to go for a little walk in the nature trail. But what happened was something you wouldn't believe. But before I continue, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers and to those people just visiting my channel for the first time. If you find something interesting or relevant, please consider unsubscribing. So much more when we return. So I had plans for today, but I had to do some meticulous time management because I start working at the yacht club at 5 p.m. today. So my plans were to go for a nice nature walk. Afterwards, on the way back, stop into some groceries and just chill out before I go to work. But that wasn't to happen. You see, 8:15, I was out of bed. And I got out of bed, I tidy up my bedroom, and I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, okay, I have all this time left to go to the park, do a little nature walking. It wasn't my intention to create any content today for my channel. But instead, what happened was when I was sitting on the toilet in the bathroom, there was a knock on my door. This knock wasn't a regular knock. It was different. There was some urgency behind this knock. And then I heard a voice calling me. First, I thought it could have been the Amazon delivery guy delivering my package, but they usually don't knock like that, and they don't yell out my name. Okay, so I got out of the bathroom, I got dressed real quickly, and I walk out to my door facing the driveway, and there's no one there. No one there. And I'm like, who could have been there calling my name and knocking on my door at 8:30 in the morning? On Sundays, I like sleeping in. So I step outside to my driveway, went out to the street, looked to the left, looked to the right, and when I looked to the right, facing my neighbor's house, this is what I saw. So what I did next was just stand there and see who comes out on a stretcher to find out whether it's Kevin, the gentleman who's peeping in my windows, or his wife. Something happened. And was it Kevin that knocked on my door? So I had no choice but just wait and see what happened. So after about 10 minutes, the EMT comes out, and I go up to her and I said, "Is everything okay?" And she said, "Everything's fine." So I wasn't sold on that. I felt like something was seriously going on, something happened. But we don't know whether somebody had a heart attack, a stroke, or maybe some foul play was involved. I don't know. So in about 10 more minutes, they all came out of the house, and the wife was on the stretcher. They wheeled her out of the house very carefully, and they put her into the ambulance, and Kevin was following behind them, the gentleman who was peeping in my window, Kevin, that's his name. And they put her in the ambulance and they whisked off to the hospital. So I walked up to him and I said, "Is everything okay?" He's clearly distraught, and he says, "My wife had another stroke." Okay, it wasn't the first time. This is the second stroke, and this was a big one, according to what the EMTs told him. So he looked to be distraught and shaking, and he was crying. He said, "I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what I'm going to do." So I'm looking at him. He's about to get into his car to go to the hospital. So I offered to take him. And by the way, when I was in the bathroom, he was the one that ran over to my driveway and knocked on my door. But he got no response because I was in the bathroom. And his other neighbor to his left, that's where he went, and she came running, and then she called 911. So anyways, I took Kevin and I took him to the hospital, and he said that she had a stroke when they lived in a different state. And the reason that they moved down here was because he was afraid that with the winters up there, that she could have a slip and fall, and they decided to move to Florida. So anyways, he was somewhat quiet all the way up there, and he was crying a little bit, saying he doesn't know what he's going to do, so I tried to make him feel relaxed, tell him that everything will be okay, and just to take it one step at a time, that when we got up there, maybe we'll find something out. So we get up there and we have to don masks. So I put a mask. You know how I feel about wearing masks. But of course, I'm not going to make a scene in this emergency. I just put a mask on my face. I sat down in the waiting room, and he sat beside me. And he said that while they were in the house, he heard her scream. And when he went to her, he found her on the floor. She suffered a stroke, lost her balance, and fell and banged her head. And she's 67 years old. So I take it that maybe Kevin is a little bit older. I don't know. So we sat in the waiting room, and he speaks broken English, so I translated a little bit for him. And while I sat there, he asked a few questions. He asked how I was. I said, "I'm good." And I said, I asked him if he had contacted her family, and he said that he had. He also had her cell phone, and he was going through it, contacting her friends, letting them know what happened. And I asked him if he contacted his own family too. And he said that his son, which is married, is out on a cruise right now for a week. So he can't get hold of them. So on the way back, because he told me that he didn't want to keep me there, and in case I had plans. I said, yes, I got to be at work later on. So we sat an additional 15 minutes, and then he asked me to take him back to his house where he could get his car and drive back alone. I asked him if he's going to be okay with driving. He said he is, and I told him to try to relax. And right now, there's nothing he can do until the doctors talk to him about her condition, And he thanked me, and then he just drove back up to the hospital. Now, after he left to go back to the hospital, I got in my car and I went for a walk to one of my favorite nature trails. And needless to say, I was a little bit shocked. I was a little shocked because you never know what's in store for you tomorrow or even at the end of today. We don't know. And I was first distracted from the door knock, and I wasn't sure who it was. I thought it was the Amazon people, and then it was him. And these are the events that unfolded this morning, and I had no idea, So I don't know the extent of her stroke. Is she going to be partially paralyzed? Is she going to be okay? I don't know. But clearly he was very, very distraught and very, very nervous. There was no foul play involved. This was something that happened before, and it's something that happened again, But I think as a concerned citizen and a good neighbor, I thought I did what I can do. So anyways, that's what happened today. And as for me, I'm going to chill out because I got to be at work at 5 p.m., but I leave around 4. I like to get there so I can have my dinner there because they cook for us. And I like to sit down for about a half an hour before I actually start like a mad person in the kitchen over there. So that's what's happened here, guys. I hope you guys have a nice weekend again. And I'll be talking to you guys soon. There's never a dull moment in the day of my simple life.